Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you would like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here again this afternoon just to finish off with what we were dealing with earlier. So this was the PC with the Ryzen 9 3900X in it. The one where there was evidence that the CPU cooler had been removed and the thermal paste not properly reapplied. So what I believe's most likely happened is whoever took the cooler off last, I think they may have put some extra thermal down, but they didn't bother to actually clean the cooler base. So essentially you had a layer of thermal paste in between other dried, jagged particles that don't really conduct heat very well. So essentially it looks like, from what the customer's been saying to me, it looks like ever since he sent it off to get fixed somewhere, the problems were occurring with the CPU, so the system wasn't quite right ever since then. And so I'm pretty sure we've worked out what that problem was. And yeah, so it wasn't from UMart. I mentioned UMart earlier, so I don't want you thinking that it's UMart that did this. But it's someone who should know a little bit better, and yeah, certainly shouldn't be skimping on like the proper procedure of removing a cooler, cleaning off the excess preset thermal paste and reapplying new thermal compound before you put it back on. That's just PC 101 stuff. So anyway, we've got everything else sorted. We've got a new motherboard in here. It's an X570 chipset motherboard. We've got our new Radeon 6900 XT graphics, and unfortunately we didn't have enough money in the budget to go with like a 5900X, so we've just got a 5600X here. So unfortunately this guy uses it for video editing and stuff like that, so he's actually using and utilizing the 12 cores and 24 threads on that CPU. So this is going to be a bit slower at rendering, but in terms of like using the apps for video and photo editing, it's not going to really slow you down too much in the app itself. Just when it comes to actually rendering that video file, that's the main time that you'll notice the difference. Okay, I thought I had a tube of thermal compound unopened here. Yes. Oh no. See, I'm out of my. I normally have a big tube, but I'm out of. Here we go. This shall do.
Tim,
Yeah.
Mark Cravens, hey, it's been a while.
Hey Mark, how you going? Yeah, it has been. No, I don't expect everyone to watch the streams every day. We all have lives.
Tim,
Yep.
Paul's voice on the YouTube says try giving 10 minutes to make some decent thumbnails.
Try giving 10 minutes to
Make some decent thumbnails.
Huh, yeah, I know. Dude, if you knew how time poor I was, you'd probably understand. Unfortunately, YouTube, it's it's something that, you know, realistically I need to spend a bit more time on, but I don't really get paid for YouTube. I get paid for talking to customers and building them PCs and fixing their PCs, so it's kind of like, it's one of those type things. Alright, I'm going to lift this up. So there's a couple of cables that I want to run behind the board here. Okay. So they are the addressable cables for the RGB on here. It's always fun when you have the graphics card in place. Like one of these cools on. Yeah.
There's 2 streams and 1 dated. Nice.
Oh, there'll be a third one after this. This is just a follow-up from before.
Always walk through this. I still don't know. Are you English, American, or Australian, or anywhere else?
I'm Australian.
We're from Queensland.
Yeah. Queensland, Australia. So if the accent sounds stronger, apparently Queensland has the strongest Australian accent. I found that out when I went to WA. I had no idea.
Nah.
I guess, like those thick-ass Queenslanders, got no fucking idea about culture. So just a couple of little cables to plug in.
Tim?
Yeah.
Mark says not bad, just put a new NVMe SSD in the PC and update until Windows 11.
Ah, okay, yeah. I'm still yet to update to Windows 11 on my personal PC. That is, I do have it behind us on the test bench.
That's probably the next Linus Tech Tips. I don't know, we'll see.
We'll see about that. Linus Tech Tips, man.
That dude earns a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'd
And
love
he's
to have a shop.
but see he's like one of the originals, right?
Yeah.
Like he goes way back. You see like old Linus? He's like so young.
He looks so nerdy.
He looks so young and baby faced. Now he's got like the beard, which is like, yeah.
He tries to hide the baby face.
Yeah. Alrighty.
You've got a beard going on.
And I'll look baby faced as fuck without it.
Yeah, you do. You should see our wedding photos. Jeez.
Can you grab my phone for me, babe? Okay. So finally, you should all actually be able to see. What's that cord on?
Let's put on the
Just a second. There we go. Give it a second to recognise the new CPU. There we go. Sweet as. Yeah.
Female says nobody likes a Queenslander during origin season. To be honest, I'm surprised to see the lady. I already know a lot about computers. She's knowledgeable in huge respect. I don't know if guys are related, but respect her knowledge.
Okay. Got a fan not spinning. Oh, I got a fan not spinning.
Did you do it?
Oh, I've knocked what, like a cable loose. Guaranteed. Right here. Right here. Right on the refrigerator.
Oh, right.
Yep, that's all of our fans spinning on the correct settings for the configuration in BIOS. They won't make too much noise, but they will ramp
How
up.
light flickers or cool?
Oh well, it's not.
Is it not connected properly?
No, it's connected. It's. That could be the programming though. That thing like turns off and does different. Yeah. It's not being addressed with software, I don't think.
I guess it kind of looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just happening randomly. See, as soon as it changed, it came on with a different color after it
Yeah.
went off. So all I've got to do here, I'm just going to make sure that we've got the correct Radeon drivers installed and all that, so this customer doesn't have to go through any more disruption.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Paul wants to know, according to you, what's better, Intel or AMD? NVIDIA or AMD?
Oh, dude.
Depends on what you're using it for. That's the question, because at the moment they're pretty much just as good as each other.
There's winners and losers at different price points, man. It's all about price to performance, okay? I'm not a fanboy, okay? So I'm not like, I'm Team Intel or I'm Team AMD and they're just the best and the others are shit. If I was that, if you hear that from like someone in my position, run very far away, because you're not getting objective advice from that person, because if they're just focused on one side of their own favorite brands, then they're not looking at the big picture, are they?
Like, I have an AMD CPU in my personal.
Yeah, we've got Intel
Intel
and AMD. I use both every day. I build both all the time. So it depends how much you want to spend, what you're using it for. A whole heap of different things go into it.
If you want lots of cores and stuff like that, probably I'd go with AMD.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Intel's got new compelling
Yeah, they do.
products. It's never as simple as that. I always say to people, it's like I never want to be that guy, if you know what I mean.
These AMD processors get hot these days, so even though it's cheap.
No, see, I can disagree with that. AMD processors just get hot. Like I can disagree with that. Some of the AMD chips run extremely cool and have extremely good efficiency in terms of actual performance numbers versus the wattage that the CPU is using. So it is literally never as clean cut as any sort of vague generalization. If I make any sort of generalization, I can always think of like a point that would, like, you know, be an exception to the rule, sort of thing. So in general, yeah, if you wanna know what's best, it all depends, like, out of the amount of money you're prepared to spend on the PC, how much of that budget is allocated to your CPU, and what does that equal? Do you have $250, $300 to spend on a CPU, or can you afford to spend, you know, $600, $1,000 on a CPU? I don't know. And like, what are you doing? Are you just gaming? Are you're doing video editing and stuff like that as well? So okay. Is it gonna let me get... So we're going to get MSI center because we've got an MSI motherboard. That looks like some graphics card drivers, perhaps. Still be able to see me because I disabled the HDCP. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to this PC. I'm going to go to apps and features, and we'll make sure that things that are associated with the old motherboard and old graphics card are removed. Just stops any bullshit from occurring.
since you're experienced, what's the way to stop Windows 11 update?
Oh, just select no. You just got to keep pushing it off. Microsoft will no doubt keep trying to force it down your throat. As of this day, in February 2022, there's no need to like rush over to Windows 11 for anything really. Over time, what will happen is that new devices, new software will be sort of optimized for Windows 11, and also while that process is going on, Microsoft will also sort of stop supporting Windows 10. Like, they'll officially support it, but not as much effort is going to go into it as Windows 11. So I'm sort of thinking after the big update at the end of the year, that's when I'm thinking of moving over personally. I feel that there won't be any issues with it then. There won't be any random compatibility issues that I might face. That said, for an ordinary person, probably not going to have any issues using Windows 11 right now. I mean, I've got it on the test bench here and I haven't had any problems with it, so... Alright, here we go. AMD chipset, Ryzen Master, AMD software, App Center. So App Center is Gigabyte software, so that's associated with our old motherboard. Yes. Goes our new stuff. We don't need our NVIDIA drivers. Or any of the software. So if we need to use the old graphics card again, as long as you've got an internet connection, Windows will just automatically go and download the compatibility drivers it needs to use it. And everything else down there should be fine. And everything else, yeah, it's all non-related software. Cool. That's done. And so yeah, obviously this PC can run Windows 11. This motherboard has a discrete TPM 2.0 chip, so even if you didn't update the BIOS on it, you'd still be able to run Windows 11. And it didn't want to install all this, did it? Oh no, here we go. Sweet. So that will be the updated drivers for our graphics card, and then I guess before we shut it down, we can have a quick look in some gaming benchmarks just to see how our new 6900 XT, because it hasn't actually been properly used, because ever since the customer got it, it's been a right pain in the ass. I've got some metal ones. Should have some metal ones. There we go. And we'll go ahead and do a reboot. And this one should be pretty much ready to go. And then the main event for tonight, that's going to be the Leon Lee PC that was bought to me partway completed. So this guy had like a roommate, I guess you could say, and this guy was like going to build him the PC, and he got like halfway through it, didn't finish it, and then he like moved out, went back to New Zealand. And so this guy's got like a half-built computer. He doesn't want to do it himself because he's like not confident and stuff, which is fine. And yeah, he's like he's researched it, got all the parts together and stuff, but yeah, he can see already that something's not quite right with how his friends put it together. So we're pretty much going to start from scratch. So that'll be coming up really, really soon. So that'll be a bit of fun. Like, you can get my reaction to it because it's a little bit weird. A mistake's been made that I just don't know how you can make that mistake. Like, Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but like that's pretty shit as well. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about in a second. Well, not in a second, but once this one's done and I have a 10-minute break and we get started on tonight's main event, then you'll know all about it. Come on, show me that percentage. Yeah, clean up, clean up. Come on. Don't have all day.
I've been thinking of a way to, like,
I'm still live.
I didn't know that.
I could tell from your tone that you didn't know that, so I thought I'd point that out.
What's that? Well, you almost done.
Yeah. Alright. Oh, this doesn't have Reva tuner. Need that if I'm gonna show people this card running and doing its thing. Yeah. Hey Nick, how you going? Alright, we'll just have a quick look at this and then we'll leave it here for this one, and we've got the main event coming soon. Alrighty. Oh. Might make it bigger so everyone can see. And I'll add the frames per second as well. In full power. Let's just have a look at that. Yep. All right. It's still underutilizing in this benchmark. I mean, still really good frames per second, but for whatever reason, just in this benchmark, it doesn't want to give it all it's got. Shut up, Windows. Stop getting in the way of... Okay. Righto. Okay, Windows, you do you. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You do you. This is a safe space for Windows. right there. And what's going on here? Oh, that's fucking weird. What's going on with this? Just my luck, right? Just about to hand it back to him, and now it's doing something weird. That was a little bit fucking strange. Alright, didn't want to install that. That's okay. Okay, so now I want to see it restart. So all I've done different was just used for my keyboard and mouse. And it's not getting stuck. There you go. Alrighty. Well, I think this one's all ready to go. Not going to want to shut down by the button. I'll do it with the mouse. Sweet as, then we gotta fix that other one downstairs.
Oh.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did that even happen?
Hang on.
Sweet as. Alright, well, I'll leave it there for now, but I'll be back in about 15 minutes or so with tonight's main event. Alright, so I'll see you all in the next video.